Hi, welcome to this intro on Smart Money Charts. Smart Money Charts is a place you can come to each day and get a real sense of how all your favorite assets are doing and do it quickly. First, a lot of it is free. The rest is available just by being signed in. There is no subscription fee currently. I'll be running it with ads, sponsorships, and donations. So please sign up. It will unlock great features for you and save your setting choices for the next time you visit. Smart Money Charts was made because it is a pain to look at 5 or 6 time frames consistently every time over and over every day. This is hard for everybody. So Smart Money Charts makes that easy. Just having all the charts in every time frame automatically in a row for you is really nice. It's not something that's easily found. I haven't seen it in too many places myself, if any, really. There might just be some rows of numbers, but not charts. And charts are where it's at. That's where all the information is. It's easy for all of us to get focused on small time frames and miss the bigger picture. And vice versa, be watching a bigger picture, higher time frames like the weekly chart, and miss what's going on maybe a little bit lower, like in the 2 hour chart. That could have been really useful. Uh, Most of us don't have 20 monitors, and even if we did, that wouldn't be enough for all the time frames for all the assets we care about. So that's why Smart Money Charts was made, because you have a list of uh, all your top ETFs, stocks, currencies, cryptos, all in one place in a list that you can scroll. And we'll get more into that later. It's easy to focus on small time frames and miss the bigger pictures and clues within those. As we all know, it's a mistake, and smart money charts makes it easy to avoid those mistakes. Smart money charts makes it easy to see lots of assets on many time frames at the same time together for huge benefits, which we'll touch on in a moment. It's also really revealing to see indicators across all time frames all together. A larger time frame indicator can confirm a move, while a smaller time frame's same indicator could have helped you seen that manifesting earlier on and help you be prepared, if not looking at starting to enter a smaller position should that begin. It also seems like if you just have good solid indicators, but you always see them for every time frame all together, you can answer a lot of questions with a lot more confidence and get out what you're trying to get out of indicators. That's why we have great indicators on and below all the charts in the app. And they're already set up automatically for you with basic things that help most people. Fundamental classic things. Uh, One chart is very fast to read because it only shows the closes. But they're color coded by the momentum, making it easy for you to see the direction and when momentum changed, which is when you might want to be considering a move in or out of a position. So it's a lot faster to read because there's just closes. You don't have to read the open and the high and the low of each point like a candlestick. So reading the closes, it is faster. It helps to reduce the noise. And that's the point of this app, is being able to reduce the noise, get good signals out, and look at lots of assets because you have time. You have automatic Fibonacci discount areas. They're easy to see. And here's an example. You can see them on all the charts. These light blue and green and purple lines are just bigger discounts that would happen if the price got there from the current high to the current low of what's available on that chart. And you can see that it often does come back to this 50%, 61, 2% area in this case. Here you can see it's coming back to the 786. This happens all the time. It's just nice to have those there without having to set them up and then having to set them up on all the time, every day, over and over again on all the different time frames. This is set up for you automatically. And that's just nice because that's what a lot of people are looking to for a price to retrace to. And maybe that's when it'll reverse. That might be when they get in. That might be when they get out of a short. Some of the other things we have is the Nadarya-Watson upper and lower bands to help show expected price ranging, which you could target. An example of that is here on Solana, where we have the upper, this red curve, and the lower, this green curve. And this is the daily chart for Solana, which is a crypto, top cryptocurrency. And in this example of this chart, you can see that the price did in fact range between these bands. It also did get pivot points here and here and here and here and others, but these were the most significant. And so the system automatically marked those with the standard deviation from the 50-day moving average. This is the daily chart. So that blue line is the moving average, the 50-day moving average. And so these are also very high. And if they're high and they're over 1.9 standard deviations, then it writes out the number for you to let you know. So this would have been a great spot to sell into, even maybe short. And where to comes down to here, the lower end of the band. Now this doesn't always happen, but it often happens, and things sometimes range perfectly even. Sometimes they range in a trend, which is going up. And the Nadarya-Watson upper and lower give you also an idea of the general direction of a trend if there is one. And when it starts to reverse down, you can see that. And so here you had pretty good 2.4 deviation, and also at the upper, and it did come down just as expected. And where did it come down to? The lower. And this doesn't always happen so perfectly, but it does happen a lot, and that's why it's useful. So there's a few great indicators already on all the different time frame charts to help you make decisions about when to get in, when to get out, if it's worth getting in and out. And that answer is possibly answered by higher time frames. So if you're just doing day trades, then the 2 hour and the daily chart, maybe the 15-minute could be useful for you. If you're more of an investor, maybe you're thinking about longer term trades, then maybe you're looking at 10-day period charts and weekly period charts. And each one of these dots is the close of a week. So this chart is really representing a few years of data. You couldn't pack that 15 minutes of data closes for 2 years into a chart very easily. It will be a lot of data. So this lets you see on a 4K screen all the time frames from 10-day, 1 week, 3-day, 1 day, 2 hour chart, 15-minute, and there's even more. It lets you see all of them together so you can read them left to right. And that's a way you would do multi-time frame analysis traditionally. Now, you might not care about these, and there's settings so that you can hide them. You might not care about these lower ones, and there's settings so you can hide them. You might care about other time frames more. But someone that's thinking about weekly types of trades lasting weeks, months, years, it's real nice to be able to see the 3-day chart, because the 3-day chart is giving you a little more resolution into it. The daily chart's giving you a little more resolution into that. So in this case, the daily, it's going back a few months, which is this part of that 3-day, right? And it's zooming it out so you can see it better, what's going on more right now. And then the 2-hour chart, well, that's zooming it out even more, and it's showing you what's been happening just in this little area, but with finer detail. And then what's interesting about the 2-hour charts and some of the other time frames is that we'll overlay. And so you can see the 2-hour Nadaria Watson, red and the green, but we've overlaid the daily. So you can see the resolution of all the 2-hour closes over each of these days and more days for a few weeks. It's actually for a month in total. But you get this daily Nadaria Watson channel over here to just kind of give you a guide of a bigger time frame on a finer grain time frames chart. And you can see how effective it can be by being able to see the price at a higher resolution, but with a higher time frame indicator on it. Okay, so let's see what else. There's also candlestick charts. Some people like candlestick charts, and I see no reason not to. They're very informative. I think something you want is clean charts. You know, too many things going on the chart, and you can't even read it. So I think it's good to have some other indicators on the candlestick charts. And what we'll have here that we can see is the super trend, which is this gray line, which it's funny, price often comes back to it sooner or later, flips it, and then guess what happens? The price comes back to it again. And you'll see that on all the different time frames, but you can really see it a little bit simpler, clearer on the larger time frames, how that happens. And that's typical for a ranging market. And one reason that it comes down, it comes to, or even passes through the super trend is because the super trend is where a lot of people are thinking that's where they have their stops. That's where some people are giving up, or it's a target. And so it might end up reaching there for one of a few different actors' motivations to get it to there. Could be to clear liquidation. It could be to reach a target of a short or a long or whatever. It will flip, and the price will very often come back to it. And so I can give you a great signal, especially if you can combine it with the fact that it is at a discount and we can get a reversal back up to there. That's a real nice trade. There's indicators. This is the TDI. It's an enhanced TDI that's made for smart money charts, and we'll cover that in another video. The other thing that the candlestick charts has is they have these little green and red arrow, up and down arrow markers. And what they're doing is they're just helping you to see what are the significant candles with significant wicks. And what does that mean? So it means that if a candle had a range between its high and its low, and its open and its close, okay, then in this case where it's green, this had a low, but it closed above it. How much did it close above it? What was the distance between that close and the low? And if it's 50% or more, then that's significant. That means there was a lot of buyers to support that and bring it up when it came down to that low price. And so that would be a positive thing to look for a continuing uptrend, which in fact that is what happened. You can see the red wick indicators here down. and it did come down. Sometimes there's chop, but often these are very useful, especially on the bigger time frames, which are more relevant, which are time frames a lot of people don't look at because, again, it's very hard to consistently look at all the time frames. And this app makes it as easy as it can be. It's automatic. They're just there for you to view all the time. Other reason Smart Money Charts was made the way it was made was because it's great to use TradingView, but it's hard to look at other assets and still remember what's going on with the initial assets, and that would be called correlation. It's very hard to do cross-asset correlation with just TradingView, but with Smart Money Charts, it's actually very easy, and I'll show you how we can do that. So we can rearrange these rows if we wanted to, and you can either drag things to a new position, or you can use the arrows up and down, right? You can do it with the TV remote. So if your smart TV has a browser, you can go use this app on your smart TV. If it's 4K, fantastic. You'll be able to see so many assets in rows. It's amazing. And to get a picture for the whole market. So in this case, we're looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana that we picked. There's all kinds of other choices. There's a quick start that I would suggest new users try. And it's just a selection of what's possible. So you could check off, I'm interested in gold, and I'm interested in large crypto and the Magnificent Seven stocks. And then you could say go. Well, you'd say what? Sorry, your step two would be your time frames. And so it'll load you up with a little bit gentler set of time frames, really only 3 or 4, even though more are possible. The investor being for a 10-day, a weekly, a 3-day, and a daily chart. It's pretty good for an investor. A swing trader would be a little more fine-grained. He'd be looking at the weekly, the daily, and the 2-hour charts, maybe even the 1 hour, maybe the 15-minute even. A scalper definitely, he might want to keep an eye on the weekly, and this app will let him. But he'll be able to zoom in and see maybe the 2-hour, the 1 hour, the 15-minute, maybe even the order book level 2, which that's going to be a nice thing for you to see where the orders are, the sell and buy orders are throughout the day, being updated every few seconds. That's visualization. That's nice. And you click Start Trading Analysis, and you'll see it. And then you can go and actually change the assets you might like with the settings. And we'll go through that on another follow-up video. And there's tons of stocks, ETFs, currencies, cryptos for you to pick from. Top 100 stocks, ETFs, cryptos, pretty much. Now, another major thing is that when you have a list of all kinds of assets from currencies like the euro and the yen and the QQQ, great, you can read across fast and get an idea of all the time frames and what's going on. Fantastic. You can compare the euro and the yen because they're right above each other, and you can even do it walking your eye across for the different time frames and see things a little more fine-grained. Okay, but even then, it can be a lot. Some of these things are going to be off your screen. So we have a signal. You can toggle it, and this is the signal ticker. Okay, you can slide it if you need to, but the idea is that you would have it open, and it's going to let you know where to look. So AMD, for example, fantastic, $229. It's been going up. We just reached the 3-day Nadari Watson upper. Maybe that's a place where it's good to sell. Maybe that's a place where it's you're going to keep going from. You'd really have to look, and then you could look at it by then comparing it to the weekly and the 10-day and seeing, is there more room to go, or is this maybe a good spot? But this just lets you know on time, and these come out in real time all the time for you on all these different assets for different indicator signals. So that makes it easier because you can be looking at a few things, quite a lot, but then pick up on there might be something else you want to review because the alert comes up in the ticker. Now, like I said, this is best on a 4K screen. It just lets you see more. And if you're not worried about the indicators per se, and you're only looking for, let's say, the one chart instead of the candlestick and the close, well, I guess I'm already explaining this now, how you can choose what you want to see for each of these time frames. But if you were only going to choose one, candlesticks or closes, I'll go with the closes for right now. You'll find that you can really see a lot of the market. You compare a lot of different things together to make a much more informed decision based on how everything correlates. Okay. So now with just one chart, we're able to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even almost 10 different assets on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different time frames. So you can have 60 charts on your 4K monitor, which, usually with TradingView, maybe you can have 2, maybe 4 tops. So this gives you a great use for your 4K monitor, that 4K TV, that you could just plug into your computer, or you can just run the smart TV browser that's built into it and go to this website. And with the remote control, it's set up so you'll be able to click on the different buttons that you need to with your remote without having to type in too much at all. So I think that's good for an intro. Okay, and I hope you liked it. I hope you're excited about it and how it can help you making better trading decisions. And I think in the next videos, we'll go over a few more of the details. So again, there's no fees. The credit card is not asked for. All you have to do is sign up to unlock things like certain indicators and the 10-day and the 3-day, which you'd have to sign up and pay for with TradingView if you wanted those. So you're getting them free. You just have to sign up. And by signing up, when you come back to the site, it'll have saved your settings and it'll automatically restore them. And again, a great way to do it is with a quick start. Anytime you're thinking you're new and you're not sure, or you want to experiment with it, there is a web app you can install. You can install onto your Windows, Mac, Linux, or iPhone or Android phone. It's a web app. It'll install a web container and it'll run standalone in a web browser. That's your default web browser. And that's neat. And it's certainly nice to have on the go. And just to tease it, a particular thing, we'll look at Bitcoin. This is how it would look if you were on Bitcoin's multi-timeframe view on a portrait phone. You would be able to click that eye. The eye brings up some details, and now you're going to get the 10-day closes here and the 10-day candles, and the 1-week closes here and the 1-week candles and signals. And you'll be able to scroll through them and a screen ratio that's just a little bit better for a mobile device if you're on the go and you want to see it vertically. And there's a lot more to the app. We'll definitely hit it. Thanks for staying for the whole video. And please sign up at smartmoneycharts.com